Hey everybody, thanks for the click. Apparently, grain bins turned gazebos are all the rage on Facebook and Instagram, and I guess you could say we joined the bandwagon here at Greene Fields Farm with our brand new grain bin, well, not brand new, repurposed grain bin turned gazebo. We're going to use it at our pumpkin patch this fall for our very popular corn box for the kids to play in. But more importantly, right now, you may be interested on just how we did this. So follow along, here we go. For our pavilion, we'll be setting the roof and one ring of our 24-foot diameter bin on 6x6 posts. We ended up using six 6x6 posts. They're about 12 feet apart going around the perimeter of the bin. So as you'll see here, we're setting those, tamping them in, getting them plumb and square, and hoping that our measurements line up to the actual bin when we move it in. Thankfully, I've got some helpers that are checking me all along the way. Now our 6x6s were originally 16 feet long, which is a little long for what we need. We're only looking for about 8 foot of clearance under that bottom ring, so we're going around here cutting them off to correspond to our finished height. So this is our donor bin. She is 24 feet in diameter and has a couple issues that makes her unusable for grain anymore, but since we're just needing the roof and a ring, she'll be perfect for us. The first thing we have to do is to remove the aeration floor out of the bin, and to do that we start by removing the outer flange as Ryan is doing here. Then we pop up the individual steel pieces one by one. Thankfully this floor popped apart really easily. See all those blocks under there? We get to deal with those later. But before that we'll get all of the steel pieces out and we'll use them for other projects. Now for the hardest part of the job is getting the man door out. We've taken the nuts off the bolts that hold it, popping those bolts out right now from the inside with a hammer, and then hoping and praying that it will just release itself from its spot it's been for the past 50 years. And of course it doesn't. It holds on by a thread we can't find, a thread that doesn't make sense, and a thread that, well, is invisible. So you fight with it a little bit, you say a couple prayers, and then miraculously, if you're lucky, it comes out. So there's really two ways to raise a bin for dismantling. The first way involves using what's called grain bin jacks to raise it up and take rings off one by one. We opted to use a crane this time though, since we're going to be setting this bin and a ring up on posts. And it's a lot easier, albeit a little more expensive, than using grain bin jacks that you have to manhandle and move around. So the crane makes this a pretty simple process. The idea is we need him to extend his boom and drop his hook down through the hole in the top of the roof, and once we get things attached, he'll be able to lift up on the bin, take the pressure off the seams so we can start taking apart the bolts and lift this thing apart where we can work with it. To lift evenly on the roof, we will use this highly specialized piece of rigging apparatus that we're rolling in the bin right now. And once we get that attached to his hook, he'll raise her up and lift up on the bin for us. And now the hope is that as he lifts up, the bin will come apart at the seam we just loosened and not pull the roof off. Now with the bin setting safely on the ground and the crane just holding up on it enough to keep some weight off of it, we can remove the rings that we don't need. We only need the one ring in the roof for our pavilion, and as an added bonus, this will make our bin short enough to fit under the power lines on its journey home when we do set it on the trailer. Now here again, we've called in the rigging crew to build some supports to hold the sides of the bin onto the trailer and to mount it down to the trailer for its journey home. A couple more straps, and I got the go-ahead from my hired help that it looked good from their house, so now all that's left is to see if it makes it to its new location. Well, that was pretty uneventful, just the way we like it. So now it's just a matter of reversing the process we used to get the bin on the trailer, to get it off, get it set on our posts, and just hope that all the measurements and all the checking the boys and I did, that this thing will actually fit. So there you have it. It's not even quite lunchtime, and we've got our grain bin turned pavilion here at Greene Fields Farm. We're looking forward to using it next fall at our pumpkin patch and for you all to check it out. I want to thank Bob Lamb for coming out with their crane to make this job pretty simple, and of course for my crew. And thank you guys for watching.